Yes, 2 people are joining, 3 people.
Do you want to start, Nick?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending, where exactly in the world you are. And welcome to the Applied Forecasting course, Ask Us Anything webinar. We hope that we managed to answer all your queries and that you may have about the course. Just to give you a quick introduction, this is a 6-week course. The intake is the 18th of April, and we've also added a pre-course week so that people can get onto the level of understanding of the R programming software. I would say that one of the benefits of this course is the live weekly session with the instructors that takes place every week throughout the duration of the course. And this happens on a Wednesday at 4 p.m. London time. These sessions are recorded, they're live, but they are recorded and they can be watched or downloaded at a later date via our learning platform. This A.M.A session is actually a great way to give potential students the level of communication that they're going to have with the instructors, throughout the live sessions. Plus, they'll also be able to reach out via the platform as well for any questions. Another main benefit of the course is the emphasis on hands-on learning by encouraging participants, where possible, both businesses and individuals, to bring and use their own actual data to predict and estimate the uncertainty of their forecasts and also their implications to risk. If anybody's not able to bring their own data to work with, of course, this is something that we will provide. We haven't actually got content for this for this A.M.A. The content is to answer your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to a guy that actually needs no introduction in the forecasting world, Professor Spiros Magridakis, to give a quick summary of what one should expect to gain by following this course.
Well, good day from me. And our purpose is to introduce you to tell you what we know, being in the field of forecasting for a long time, what we think is important and what we think will help you improve your forecasting and your estimates of uncertainty. We're here to transmit our knowledge, our experience in forecasting, and the 3 of us, Pasquale, Vangelis, and me, we have a diverse backgrounds in forecasting, and we can cover the whole area of forecasting, and we hope we'll be able to pass this knowledge to you and help you improve your forecasting accuracy and uncertainty. We're here to answer questions, so it's not for us to talk. We want you to get involved. We want you to tell us what would you like us to tell you about the course and how would you like us to answer your questions. So that's for me, my introduction, and I will pass to Pasquale to talk about his own experience and how he will be involved in the forecasting course.
Yes, thank you, Spiros. Welcome, everyone. So yes, indeed, the purpose of this Ask Me Anything webinar is that you ask us questions about the course. Nevertheless, as Nick and also Professor Makridakis already told you, this is an applied course, is in the title, is applied forecasting course. So you will have your hands on the techniques that you need in order to produce reliable forecasts. So you will see a very large set of techniques and tools, from the more standard ones, so let's say time series, to smoothing techniques. You will see machine learning techniques, Together, we will discuss important problems related to forecasting. So we will see the pros and the cons of forecasting. We will see when we can perform forecasting, when we need to be a little bit more humble, how to quantify the uncertainty in the forecast. So it's a quite complete course that has the nice characteristics, which I think it's very nice, as we have seen over the different runs of the course, is that it's a very flexible course in the sense that it is able to adapt to your own level, to your own requests, because obviously you are asked to participate in the course, to share your results, to share your doubts, questions, thoughts on the course forum. You can interact with us every week during the live sessions. So there are a lot of materials that you can find anytime on the course website, on the platform, but we have these live sessions that are extremely important, because it's not only us speaking and teaching, but it's also the opportunity for you to ask questions about the course materials that you encounter. And as we have already said, you can bring your own data, which is very nice, because if you're working on a project in your studies, in your work, in your activity, in your profession, you can exploit that. So you can ask us to, if you want, in a sense, help you with that. But at the same time, if you don't have the data, we have all the data available. I mean, because of the long and well-known efforts of Professor Makridakis and also Vangelis, Dr. Spidiotis. I mean, there are the A.M.A competitions that are a huge source of data that can be used to learn how to focus on how to improve. I'm sure that some of you already know something about forecasting. Maybe you use forecasting in your daily life. But you can still improve. I mean, there is a lot of things that can be learned. But I don't want to be the only one speaking. So please, Vangelis.
Thank you, Pascal. Hi, everyone, also from my side. I'm Vangelis, and together we'll be talking mostly about both traditional statistical, let's say, forecasting methods and also more advanced ones. There's a special session in the course where we will see both standard machine learning methods and how they can be applied in time series forecasting settings. We will see also some more advanced techniques, neural networks, and decision trees. We'll also discuss what the winners of recent competitions and more precisely the winners of the A.M.A competitions have developed in order to win among thousands of participating teams, and how such learnings can be implemented in practice in other applications that you may find more interesting based on your position. I will also help you with some examples for you to use R. It's not mandatory to have a very strong background in programming to start working with R. We provide some material for you to get started in week 0, which is before the beginning of the course. And after that point, we also provide a lot of examples of how you can use some ready-to-use, let's say, functions or some very popular packages that can give you some accurate results. Okay, and of course, we have a forum, which I find particularly helpful, where everyone can post questions about the material during the week. They can even, open a post discussing things they find important related to forecasting, but not necessarily linked to, the direct material of the course for us to discuss. So I think a nice opportunity for you to get introduced in the world of forecasting, or if you're already familiar with forecasting, improve your skills. I would like to personally to see some questions from your side. If there is any particular you'd like us to discuss.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to add, let me see if it works. I mean, if you, can you see my screen? I guess. Okay, so if you go on the website of the MOFC, so it's the Makridakis Open Forecasting Center, which is the center to which this course on applied forecasting belongs. If you go on this website that you can see here, so it's the mofc.unic.ac.cy, so in Cyprus, then you can go to the M courses, and in the M courses, you find the applied forecasting webpage. And there, about this course, you can find all the information you may want to have about the syllabus, about the activities. Obviously, if you have other questions that are not here, and you have already checked the webpage, we are here to answer your questions. So don't be afraid. If you had the chance to read and something was not clear, feel free to ask. Because what we like is actually interaction. So I think that's the best way. So you can ask your questions in the chat if you have any. Yeah, I see that there is a question.
Well, what I would like to emphasize is that the forecasting field went through a very long forecasting winter where very little progress became available. And in the last several years, in particular since 2018, we have seen a very big change by the introduction of machine learning methods. And we saw improvements in accuracy that they were unheard before. And as Vangelis talked, in the M5 competition, we saw improvements that they were amazing in terms of what was happening before. And these are something that we're going to discuss. There is some new ideas involved. We talk now about global models, and we talk about machine learning methods that they really revolutionize the field of forecasting. And this is things that we're going to discuss during the course.
Yes, you really have a very broad range of topics that obviously capitalize on the huge experience of Professor Makridakis, I mean, which is one of the authorities of the field. You see the latest advancements with respect with the machine learning techniques. You can see things that are not typically covered in this type of courses, which are related to tail risk and the problems related with that. So it's a quite complete course. And again, the more you want to invest in the course, the more curious you are, the more you really have the chance. And one thing that is very important, the live sessions are over a certain amount of weeks, but all the course materials, including the recordings of the live sessions, because maybe you cannot attend one class, okay? It's recorded, so you can find that later. And all the materials remain available for a long time. So we can never say forever because nothing is forever, but for several months and years after the end of the course, the materials are there for you. So you can come back, download the codes, the R code, check the codes. If you have questions, you can go back into the course forum and see what happened, the slides, everything. Everything that is within the course can be later checked, from the videos to the slides, to the codes, to the readings, everything.
There are some questions in the chat. Michael says, is there any pre-reading or resources that you can recommend for someone new to this field? Well, when each week starts, let's say, where we give you some new material we'll discuss together in the live session, we also provide lots of material that are related to the topics discussed. in the first weeks, that will also serve as an introductory material for you to get familiar with some definitions, what is forecasting, what can be forecast, what is uncertainty, some key categorization of the methods, some key features of the methods used. So this will be provided when you first join the course. And also there's another question again from Michael. What guidance would we give to someone wanting to bring their own data sets? In fact, we recommend you bring your own data. In the final assignment of the project, you are actually asked to freely apply the methods you've been taught during the course and see how you can exploit these methods for the problem you are mostly interested in. I have seen while grading these assignments a lot of different kind of applications depending on the job of each student. So I think that if you're working on a particular forecasting project, we can discuss what kind exactly of data you should use, what kind of features the models should include to get more accurate forecasts. These are things that we will discuss during the course, and we can of course discuss before you get started with the final assignment.
Mateus had a question here. I'm going to allow him to ask the question to you guys live. Mateus, you there?
Yeah, thank you. I just wrote it in a chat. So it's fine, but I'll ask you anyway. So I've been working with forecasting for a couple of years right now, and have some experience with neural networks, like I don't know, A.M.A or other forecasting specific architectures. I would like to ask what kind of architectures are part of the course, and what do you rely on during it?
We'll get started with some relatively simple multi-layer perceptrons and see how we can apply those for time series in a time series forecasting context. Then we will move to architectures like the N-bits that you discussed earlier, and there will be also some discussion about other state-of-the-art implementations, but we won't get into much detail because, like we said, this is a course that refers both to people that are not very familiar with forecasting and people that are, more advanced. So we won't get into more details, for example.
But that's, if I can intervene, I think that then this is a very nice example of the fact that obviously in your case, you are already exposed to the use of machine learning techniques in forecasting. So in your case, it will be the situation, the optimal situations in which then you can come with your own problem. Mm-hmm. and you can ask for help with that. So especially if you have, even better if you have your own data. Mm-hmm. So it's even more specific, obviously, in that case. But that's the thing. So in a sense, in your situation, in a situation like yours, you have a little bit the burden of come in front and bring your own problems and your own mm-hmm. questions, obviously, because we also take into consideration that there are other people that maybe never saw and never do not know what a perceptron is. So mm-hmm. we have to say that, we have to cover that. In your case, that information is redundant, but I mean, repeating is never a bad thing. But you can come with your questions, you can intervene on the course forum, you can contact us. So in that sense, you can build and we can start discussion in that.
Thank you so much. That answers my question.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. I see that there are other questions. Let me check. Have too many. Okay. I lost it. Where is it? Yes. No, was a thing. Yeah, I saw that there is a question that Nick already answered in the chat, but maybe is useful for everyone. There is financial support, but for all these kind of things, Nick is the person. So you can ask to Professor Matrodakis, to Dr. Spiliotis, to me, all the questions about the course. For financials, it's Nick.
Just to be clear on that, yes, we do offer support for people that want to follow this. The level of support depends on a number of factors, but it's something that we're going to have to speak and discuss the individual case one by one. So, yeah, to answer the question, yes, it's on an individual base, and let's arrange to speak about that. Another question that quite a few people have, gentlemen, is how will they be assessed? What kind of time demand will be required through the week, and what kind of assignments they'll be expected to deliver.
Yeah. Go on.
I can go first. Yeah. In terms of workload, and apart from the live course, which ideally you should attend live in order to be able to ask questions if you have any. I guess that it depends on the level that you are used with some basic statistics, and of course, if you have some previous experience in programming, especially if you're already familiar with R. I wouldn't expect for someone that has some basic skills either in statistics or in programming to spend more like 4 or 6 additional hours per week. Okay, but if you do not know anything about R, and if you do not know anything about forecasting, that of course will increase a little bit the time that you should get involved. But you know what, since in week 0 you have the chance to get introduced to R, to see some first readings about forecasting, I think that this will give you some time to catch up and be able to handle everything in time.
Yeah, in week zero, you find, for example, a video I produced in which I cover the very basics of R. Obviously, if you can already use R, if you know how to use R, it's useless for you, so you can skip it completely. But if you never saw R before, you see how you can install R, how to use the visual interface that we call RStudio, how to create a vector, how to manipulate a vector, lists, these kind of things, very basic things that can be useful. If you never saw R, but you are experienced in Python, then the passage is a no-brainer, so it's very quick. But again, one thing that we always say is that we use R because we have to choose one language. I mean, at a certain point, you have to make a choice. But if you feel more comfortable to use Python for your things, you're free to do that. I mean, there is no problem. If you prefer to use, I don't know, MATLAB, feel free to use MATLAB. So obviously what we show, the examples, the codes we provide are in R. But if you are a Python user, it's not a problem for you to translate. And obviously with Python, I can also help. So you can for sure ask me if you have questions about that. It's just because we have to make a choice. So we have chosen R because we like R. That's the thing. One thing that I would like to add to what Vangelis already said is that there is a lot of material. So there are materials that are meant to be full part of the course, so that you are supposed to read, on which you are supposed to work. If there are assignments that we discuss together in the live sessions, you find the codes. But every week really every week, starting from week 1, you find a lot of extra materials. And these are the materials that are not meant for you to read, because you will never be able to keep the pace, but they stay there. So at any time when you go, if you want to go deeper on one of the specific topics you are seeing, I don't know, time series, you like time series, you want to go deeper there, machine learning, uncertainty, you find a plenty of material. So they can keep you busy for a long time. And I think this is a nice thing, because you have a sort of curated selection of readings, papers, reports, commentary, which is quite valuable. No other question? Don't be shy. We don't bite. Not yet, because it's too early for dinner. But maybe later I could bite, but not now.
Well, if there are no any more questions, I just want to make one last observation. You know, something interesting that happens in the M5 competition. There were more than 8,000 teams, and the one who won was a student with very little knowledge about forecasting, using a machine learning method. And that tells us something about the evolution of forecasting and what will be the changes coming in the future. And this is something that it's important. We're going to talk a lot about the course, because it's not the technical knowledge anymore that it's the critical factor for succeeding in accurate forecasting, but using the right method and using it the right way.
Yes, and we are also quite connected to reality and to what happens around us. I can speak for one of my classes, actually the last one, in which we discuss critically some focus in different fields. One field is the pandemic. So we have been experiencing, and we are still experiencing COVID-19. I mean, a lot of forecasts have been produced about that. We can now, after 2 years, evaluate the quality of those forecasts. So we will do that. We will see what has been done rightly, what wrongly. And we will see something about another type of forecast, which is quite important at the moment, which is strategic forecast for example, the military sector. And the fact that, I don't know, it's part of the news of today that the head of the secret services in France have been fired for not being able to forecast the war in Ukraine. So, I mean, there are many things that we can discuss, and we will see about the pandemic, we will see GDP forecast, we will see inventory forecast, and obviously, again, it's an interactive course. So if you have a strong interest for, I don't know, the energy markets, just ask. If you have a strong interest about, I don't know, if you ask me about weather forecast, then I don't know. But anything that we can forecast, for which the techniques we will see together, that you will see with Professor Makridakis, with Dr. Spiliotis, with me. If you have questions, we are here to answer your questions. So it's very important, if you decide to attend this course, that you take the lead in asking questions, in interacting on the course forum, because we are very keen and we're very happy to share.
I think we lost Pascal, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, Pasquale said something that is absolutely valid, which is one of the most important benefits of this course is this live interaction with the instructors. And so the asking of the questions will, it will massively add to the benefits that you'll get out of the course.
Well, thank you very much. And we hope to see you in the course.
Yeah, if
Thank
you know, I'm going to end the call right now. If there's no more questions, if you have any queries, you know, you will have received an email from me. You know, just drop me an email with the questions, and I'll put them in front of the instructors.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you, everyone.
Have a nice remaining of the day.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Bye.